Hey kids, we're back. We are live from Guitar Quackery Live. Guitar Quackery Live, the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel. How about that? From New York City. And here we go. I am live streaming to you. I'm live streaming to my customer. And I'm also streaming live in the hallway. We have a waiting area there. So when I say we, so this is Guitar Quackery, this repair shop. I basically just rent this space here at this fantastic music studio, which is called Music Makers. Actually, it's called Bob Elliott's Music Makers NY. So this is a great space for musicians or for recreational musicians. Yeah, we have recreational musicians and also professional, or however you want to call those musicians that do it, serious musicians maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So look at that. So we're doing a level crown and polish on this guitar, and it's a 25.5-inch scale length Fender guitar. I want to show you something interesting. Okay, when my app comes back to life here. So this is a fret shield. Now, this spacing is exactly for a 25.5-inch scale length. It says right here. Not only that it says it, it is if you measure it. But Fender guitars don't always come out the same way. So if I put this here, the frets match on this side, and here there's a mismatch. I can show you this. Let's put this camera here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this camera above. Let's bring it closer so I can tilt the camera. So this is potentially important information because, well, I'll explain why. So here we have this. We have a perfect match here. But if I move over the camera to this side, okay, you will be able to see that there's a mismatch here. You can see that little gap. So now if I want to move it over, what I actually need to do, I need to lift it from here to move it over. Now it's not matching here on this side, right? So we really won't be able to use the fret shield for this job. Yeah, so that's that. Now, why is this important? Well, let me put this away. Because sometimes when you set up the compensation on the bridge of a Fender guitar, you need to remove the spring on the low E string because you can't dial in the correct intonation on the low E string, which requires the saddle to be moved back further than any other saddle on that bridge, right? So sometimes you compress the spring that's behind the saddle all the way, and the string still plays sharp on the frets, and there's no more space to move it back any further, and you need to remove the spring. Now this is the bridge from this guitar. Let's have a look at it. So we don't know yet if this is going to be an issue with this guitar. So I'll just put this bridge here. I have the old strings still on this bridge. And now let's put the camera here. And let's briefly talk about this. Here it is. So sometimes you need to remove this entire spring so that this saddle can go further back. And that's because the scale length on that particular guitar is longer than 25.5 inches long. But the bridge is still in the same position, measured from the neck pocket, as if the scale length of the fingerboard was 25.5 inches. Okay. So what do we do since we can't use the fret shield? Not a big deal. We just won't use the fret shield. We'll do the job as if we don't have a fret shield. The fret shield is relatively a recent invention by Music Nomad. And we've done it without for many, many years. So there are ways of doing it. Okay. And this is another reason why level, crown, and polish job isn't the same on the same procedure on every guitar. Okay, we're ready. First thing I'll do is I will do a little bit of sanding of the fret ends. No, actually, the first thing I'll do is I will use this great file to do some fret end dressing. Okay, this is the Fret Guru Ultimate file something. So here's the thing. I put some links in the description. Those are Amazon affiliate links, which means I earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So this file, which is one of the best files for fret ends, is linked below. You can buy it through Amazon. And here we go. So I'm going to use, because this is a lacquered fingerboard, so the lacquer goes a little bit on the side of the frets. I'm not going to use this edge at all. I'm going to start with the safe edge. And I'm just going to go like this, just slightly. I'm barely pushing down, okay? Just I put my finger here so that I don't overshoot too much. And I'm really just using the weight of the file, more or less. Just like that. So this goes very quickly. Okay, and now the other side. So because I'm using the safe edge down, I'm not scratching the finish. I am emphasizing, I am just touching this. I'm not even really pushing down on the workpiece. The workpiece is the fret, right? Okay, and then we'll go over with sandpaper. And now I do the exact same thing on the other side. So with the right tools, the job is done better and more rapidly. So you are more efficient and you produce better results, which is why if you are going to be doing this maybe for a living, I don't know, build a business, yeah, it really pays to buy the right tools. Pays in the long run. How was I doing this? Okay, like that, yeah. We don't want to round them off too much. I'm not doing those real ball ends. I just don't want them to have that sharp edge around the crown, because we did do some filing because they were sticking out a little bit. Just taking that edge down. So I was streaming a couple of hours ago. I was recrowning these frets. I kept falling asleep, and I said, let me take a quick power nap. I'll be back in 20 minutes. That was at least 2 hours ago. And I also had a customer, well, he didn't drop it off now. He dropped it off earlier, 2 days ago. But today we had a scheduled Zoom call assessment. And this is the guitar. Yeah, so this is how I do my system. I have, you know, I'm gonna make a video because I'm going to have an additional Guitar Quackery channel, Guitar Quackery Business. So it's gonna be about the guitar business and tips on how to run a guitar business. So you're gonna find out more about my struggles and my solutions. So this is a good solution for, I don't really want to show you the customer's name, you know, privacy issues, but let me show you a little bit, yeah. I'm just going to cover with my thumb. I mean, it's not like there's a name and an address or anything. It's just a name, but still, you know, I don't really have permission to, yeah. Okay, so here. Okay, so I have a sleeve like this, and this. This I buy on Amazon. See, I guess I could put a link in the description to this as well. Okay. And this is a, you see this 800 number, Victory Display Manufacturing, 1-800-262-1126. So this is, these pockets are really good. To be honest with you, I stole the idea from Guitar Center. This is one good thing about Guitar Center, how they have these tags displayed on guitars in the exact same pockets, pouches. So you buy them in, and if I recall, these are free shipping. So you, yeah, you can just buy them like this. I think this is 100. So I will never use this up. And here's the receipt. No, actually, it's a packing slip. So it's musical instrument display. And midisplays.com. Maybe I'll put a link in the description for this. Okay? And you can contact them through sales@mid.com. MI display, musical instrument displays. So that's midisplays.com. But here it says, what I say, Victory or something like that? Victory Display Manufacturing. Okay. So yeah. And that's my invoice. So that's my invoice. It says what I do, and then at the end, it's also an invoice. An invoice is at the beginning is always an estimate at any repair shop, right? Because you just never know. But I like to be, good with my estimates. Sometimes it works. Most often than not, it works out. Sometimes not, right? Obviously. Which is one of the reasons why I am doing these live streams. Yeah, so they come in I think they cost $35 or something like that for a whole pack of 100. So if you have a small shop, this is really good. And if I recall, that's free shipping. So you just pay for that. And I also use these for other things, because you can store little parts in them for certain projects. And like I said, I have a whole bunch of these things, right? Okay, I'll put a link to this downstairs. Oh, so that I don't forget, let me put a couple here in front of the computer. This way, after this live stream, I'm going to edit the description. Okay, so now let's get back to back to work. So I'm going to start a new channel. And in the previous live stream, I wanted to talk about something, and I forgot what it was. And then I thought, oh yeah, it was about starting a new channel. No, it was kind of about that, but not quite. So it's about this. This is my wallet. Now, as you might know, I am actually the New York City Commissioner. Where I have this. Okay, I have, this official badge. This is a New York City Department of Guitar Maintenance and Repairs. Okay, so that's the official badge. So I'm the New York City Commissioner for Guitar Affairs for the city of New York, right? So I have a parody channel on YouTube called Department of Guitars, okay, which you might know about. If you don't, check it out. So I'm thinking of changing this entire business into more like of a YouTube guitar repair business. So I've cut down my workload significantly lately. I used to work on average 40 guitars per week, which adds up, to about 2,000 guitars per year. And I no longer want to do that. So I'm thinking of just taking guitars that I want to feature on YouTube, either on this channel, which is the live streaming channel, Guitar Quackery Live, or on the main channel, which is Guitar Quackery, right? And the customers would still pay the regular price, right? But I would just then be monetizing further all of the repairs through YouTube, if I can make that happen, that way I could spend more time editing, because now I was editing last night, which is why I was falling asleep today. And I was editing the night before. I got so much to edit. I don't want to get into it. So, and I was also thinking, why did I show you the badge? Well, I could have a whole application process where certain repairs could be subsidized, right? And the department would pay for part of the repair. Okay, so, all right, so it's all a parody, right? But I would make it kind of like a little bit of a game, so people would have to log on to the department website and apply for a grant or something along those lines, so that their guitars could be repaired here, so that they would get some kind of discount, basically. Yeah, so this could be done if I do get good monetization on the channels. And basically, okay, so that's the parody part, right? But now the real part is if I get good monetization on the channel through sponsors, I could actually do certain repairs at a discount just to get them in, and to do more work on the guitars, right? Because sometimes, obviously sometimes people opt out if they can't afford to pay for a repair that's actually needed. And this way I would end up with interesting materials for YouTube, and the customer would still pay, yeah, but not for the whole thing. And basically the sponsors would pay for the rest of it. But again, it would need to be really monetized well for me to be able to do that. Yeah, but it would all be presented through this parody of the guitar department, right? As if they're getting a grant from the Department of Guitars. So that's the idea, right? So I'm just kind of letting you know about this. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about in the previous live stream, and I forgot, and I remembered. So I need to remember this is, I talked about this during this live stream, which is how to fix frets on a Fender Strat, fret polishing part 4. Okay, cool. All right. So this is now publicly known, I guess. All right. So let's do some sanding. Oh, I just did a guitar giveaway this Saturday. Oh, wow. That went really well. I can show you. I have, I'll just point the camera at my computer. So it was this customer. So she was here with her boyfriend, and I made the boyfriend do the camera work. Where is this? Oh, here. Okay, so I'll let you see this. Okay, that's a sneak preview of the guitar giveaway. Oh, you know what? I just closed the project. Sorry about that. It was a D'Angelico. Okay, where do I get the sound from? Let me see. Speakers. Okay, cool. Now I put the camera here. So we couldn't fix her guitar. I mean, yeah, I can fix it, but it wasn't a guitar worth fixing. So this is you are going to be looking at my computer screen right now. And here we go. Okay. So this is my computer screen. That's the preview over there. Maybe I should just raise the camera just a tiny bit. And I don't know if you're going to hear the sound, but here. Okay, let's play. We're going to do it right here. So what I would like to ask you is just to stand over here, right? Okay. And I have some very important business to take care of. A surprise. Okay. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, catch. Well, I told you to catch.
Okay. That was unexpected.
So you have a message here.
Uh-huh.
Right, that's just the message delivery. What does it say?
Right. Your new guitar is in the black case against the wall.
In the black case against the wall.
That one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah. Go ahead. Look at that.
Mm.
All right, we're going to show it. This is it. And it's got these strings on. Those are super big strings. Okay, so I can stop it here. So she got her guitar, but that's how it happened. Okay. And it went well, and I'm editing this video now, so I think this might be my next video on the main channel. We'll see. Yeah, I'm always editing multiple videos all at once. And then, you know, I get overwhelmed editing one video, then I go and edit another one, etc., right? I've been editing the humidification video for a couple of months now. It's featuring this sponge or another one like it, and some other guitars. Okay. So the next video, oh, there is a video already posted on YouTube. It's going to be going live tomorrow at, I believe at 12 p.m. At 12 p.m. Eastern Time, just so you know. And it's titled something about a guitar was ruined by a repair tech. Okay. Yeah, because I discovered something. And, you know, I made a video. It was a Martin guitar. Okay. So, back to work here. We have, so I filed these. So now I'm going to use very fine sandpaper. This is a P800 grit, and it's already been used. And I'm just going to hit, see, I'm not even pushing, so it's really avoiding the finish. The finish is really slippery, but it's hitting the metal, okay, on the sides. And that's really safe here where the frets are closer together. And I can even roll them off to kind of hit the fret tops here in this area a little bit where the frets are closer together. And I can see the difference in the finish. Okay, it does make a little difference. When I say the finish, the surface finish of the metal, not the finish as in not the poly, right? You shouldn't overdo it because it is in fact hitting also the poly as well a little bit, but it's very fine sandpaper, right? And now we are finished with the treble side, and I'm just focusing my attention to the other side, the bass side. I was just watching a video by Guitar Max about the fires in LA, and he says that he's okay. Yeah. He says that Steve Vai also lives somewhere in his area, so, and he's okay as well. I don't know much about Steve Vai. I mean, I know what he looks like. I know what kind of guitars he plays. But I don't know his music at all. Okay, so that's the 800 grit. Now I can grab a finer grit, 1000, right there, and basically do the same thing. Again, I want to kind of bend it a little bit. Yeah, so YouTube is quite a time-consuming endeavor. Okay, you see? So in part 1 of this series, I did the fret end, filing of the fret ends. So now I'm just finishing off that part of the job, really, right? That's what I'm doing. Okay, and here I have this one, a 1500. And you know, I forgot to do this, okay, because I'm talking. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but I like to remove the previous grit before I go up a step, you know, before I move to a finer grit. So speaking of YouTube, I mentioned in some previous live streams that I actually hired a consultant. So it's a young lady. It's all remote, but I think she might be good for me. Yeah. Because we have some things in common. She's a procrastinator. That's just like me. She's got time management issues. That's just like me. And, you know, some other challenges. But she's got 1.5 million subscribers, and I got 4,000. So that's unlike me. So she's going to try to help me up my numbers a little bit. We'll see. I do need to get more subscribers and viewing hours. So now, speaking of, if you like the idea of catching me live at work, just subscribe to this channel. This is Guitar Quackery Live. The other channel is called Guitar Quackery. It's just produced content, edited, right? This is non-edited. 2 separate channels. And I'm going to start a Guitar Quackery business channel very soon, right? With her help. Okay. And help and guidance. I'm going to get guidance from a 23-year-old. Well, you know, I don't care how old or young she is. If she's got the information that's going to, you know, the knowledge and the know-how, that's all it takes. She's not cheap. Well, and she shouldn't be cheap if she's good. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So click like, share, and subscribe. She doesn't say that on her channel. Now, I'm going to announce who she is. I'm going to put links to her channel and channels, but not just yet. I need to get her permission, I guess, although I'm sure she'll say yes, obviously. So why wouldn't she, right? Okay. Here we have this. Yeah, so I made these in different sizes for different fret sizes, and that's the Ken Parker method of polishing frets. He explains this on his channel, and I am really liking it. So now, is this going to work for this fret height? Or do I need to remove this? I don't want to scratch the finish. Yeah, I think I might need to do it without this thing. Yeah. So I need to be extra careful. So I'm just going to go up the fretboard, one fret at a time. And then I will, yeah, let me fix this one. And I see I moved the sandpaper. Start very slow until the paper assumes the shape of that little channel. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Now this is going to take a while. It is making me just a little bit nervous that I'm doing this without any protection. So I wonder if I should put tape instead of this, right? And that wouldn't be a bad idea. So why don't we do that? So now the frets have this brushed finish look, and we're just going to move up a grit, one grit at a time. I'm starting with 600. So basically now we are in the scratch removal business, scratch removal phase. And I'm also hitting the edges of the crowns. And I'm also making sure that there's a little finish on the two sides of each fret. And I'm hitting that finish a little bit, right? Yeah, so if you don't have this jig, this little tool, you can use a crowning file instead. So obviously it's the same thing. In fact, I was using crowning files before I made the jig. And I'm still playing with the dimensions for the sandpaper. Just trying to find the optimal size for this job so that I don't waste sandpaper. Every little bit counts, right? So now I am, you know, really kind of like going over the two fret ends. So it starts as 600 grit, but then it becomes a much finer grit towards the end. Oh, gotta move this. And I'm also using it to remove the red marker, whatever's left of the red marker. This is going to be the last pass with this piece. All right. So basically, on this particular one, I cut this channel a little too deep, and this stainless steel fret guard ended up being a little too tall, right? So it wasn't working too well, which is why I'm using tape instead. And you know, this just goes to show that every job is, you know, could have a slightly different procedure. All right, so I've exhausted this piece of paper, and let's take this. Hold on. Gotta make sure I got the right grit. This one. I said 600. Yeah, I should cut it in half. It's too wide. All right. Yeah, I'm going to make some more of these tools in different sizes. I'm still kind of experimenting with the size, which size feels, you know, comfortable in the hand. So I have a milling machine in my basement, also called my fabrication shop. So yeah, I make this on the milling machine. I don't know if it's a Ken Parker invention. I think it might be. Ken Parker is the inventor of the Parker Fly guitar. And he is now building archtop guitars. He's got a YouTube channel. I think the channel is called Ken Parker Archtoppery. Should check him out. A really smart guy. He really thinks outside of the box, and I really like that. And I know many people don't like the Parker Fly guitar, and you know, it doesn't fit this visual identity, I guess, of many musicians. But it is a very innovative design, and it's got some innovative features that other guitars don't have. Some people call it the ultimate guitar. I've worked on a few, and in fact I've gotten calls to work on some in the past maybe 8 months or so. I think I got 3 calls, and those customers never showed up. So, but I've worked on them in the past. Those guitars can be damaged if you don't know how to work on them. The guitar has an exoskeleton, like a lobster or like an insect. Or like a spider. A spider is not an insect. And neither is a tick or a scorpion. An insect has 6 legs. A spider has 8 legs. All right. This is a somewhat time-consuming procedure, but I'm getting good results with this procedure. So you see, I start slow, and then when the sandpaper assumes the shape of the channel, that's when I can speed up. Then it's safe to speed up. So this is one disadvantage, I guess, of live streaming guitar repairs. Well, this is what it takes. This is how much time I spend on guitars. I do charge more. Why wouldn't I, right? Because if I weren't charging more, I'd be making less money, right? And I'm kind of like a workaholic, so I'm always thinking about work and working. And you know, I told you I'm a procrastinator, right? So I'm both. I procrastinate on YouTube more than on at the workbench. But I also procrastinate at the workbench on certain projects. So I've had a few guitars here for quite a while. Some of them are on playlists. There's a Martin neck reset, for example, on a playlist. There's an Epiphone classical, like solid body classical guitar I've had for about a year. There's a playlist. It's a Chet Atkins. I'm making a new bridge for it. I just can't get myself to work on that guitar. It's like every week I think about some of the guitars that have been here for a while. And I'm like, ugh. Then there's an Epiphone acoustic. I don't even know what model anymore. I haven't even looked at that guitar for like a year. It's got loose braces on the inside. I'm going to be live streaming the work on that guitar. Because I'm going to have to charge by the hour. So it belongs to a customer who brought two acoustic guitars with major issues. One was a Martin that he bought brand new, and you know, I don't know if you know what I think of Martin guitars. Let me put it this way: I don't think there's any chance Martin will ever sponsor Guitar Quackery videos, because of some things I've said about Martin guitars. I've seen Martin guitars spontaneously fall apart, okay? I see it all the time. Not just the X series, even expensive ones. But, you know, speaking of the X series Martin guitars, I mean, those to me are experimental guitars. And who's the guinea pig? Well, the customer. The customer will find out if, you know, that construction stands the test of time. And on many Martin guitars, and, you know, even higher priced ones, the neck block is just a 3/4 inch piece of plywood. Now, there's a difference between laminate and plywood, in my opinion. A laminate is not just a fancy word for plywood. It's more like robust construction, where, you know, the layers of veneer are actually reinforcing each other structurally. And plywood is just plywood. It's not the same thing. I got a Martin guitar right there. You'll see it. Well, you won't see it today. I'm gonna make a video of it. It's a 12-string Martin. Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise. So yeah, the reason why I say what I say about Martin guitars is because, you know, I feel it's not fair to the consumer. So I like to be a consumer advocate. The consumer pays, okay? And guitars can be made much better. I've seen really expensive Martin guitars in the, you know, $14,000 range that were complete garbage. Complete garbage. With I remember one with a gap between the neck heel and the body. $14,000 guitar. And it sounded like garbage too. But it had nice inlays. And, you know, this brings me to a point. Sponsorships. So once I get monetized, I mean, I am monetized on the other channel, not on this one. But once I get monetized in a sense that, you know, with sponsorships, well, I'll have to be careful because I want to keep making reviews, but I don't want them to be biased. So I'm thinking of only getting sponsorships from companies that have nothing to do with guitars. Because I want to be able to review guitars objectively. Without thinking about what the guitar company or amp company will think. So, and I've been thinking if, you know, I guess one day I'll be approached by a guitar company or guitar-related company asking me to review a pedal or an amp or a guitar or whatever. And my answer should be, yeah, sure, I'll review it. I'll go and buy one. Don't send me one. I'll buy a guitar and review it. And, you know, I'll send you an invoice. This way I'm reviewing a randomly purchased guitar, not a guitar that was sent to me. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen when once I get sponsors. But I'd like to get, you know, sponsors that are not guitar related. And that's possible. It's going to limit my pool of sponsors. So that's going to be tricky. Yeah, I need to go over this one a little bit more. So I'm done with the 600 grit. So one important thing is that when you pull away from the fret, if you do it sideways, you're putting scratches in this direction, right? Now, those are not deep scratches. It just kind of alters the appearance. So now I'm smoothing this out on this one fret. So you gotta end like this. You see what I just did? Yeah, I learned that from, you know, my own experience. And this one a little bit as well. I could probably just do it with the next grit. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So, so we have this. Now we have 800 grit. So one of my YouTube buddies, Steve Cassidy, just published his first sponsored video of a guitar. I can't remember what brand it was. Hold on, I gotta charge my battery here. Okay, cool. Okay, I've been streaming for an hour already. Well, it is a live stream, so I was talking about other things as well, right? Got sidetracked with the sneak preview of the guitar giveaway. Yeah, I got to tell you more about that. So, so this young lady, she was really happy, right? I gave her a guitar. So I gave her. So she had a cheap $80 guitar that. Well, you know, I don't work for $80, right? I don't do like an $80 setup or anything like that. But so she brought the guitar here, and I've been struggling to give away that D'Angelico guitar. I can tell you more about that later. And I just kind of hit it off with her. So one thing that she said right away about herself was that she has too many interests. And you saw the video of her, right? You will never guess. She's a boxer. Yeah. So we were talking about that. I told her to watch the movie $1 Million Baby with Hilary Swank. So she said that she knew about the movie. I think she said there's a Japanese version of that movie or something like that. But she's going to watch the American version now. And she works at a hospital. She's a doctor. Yeah. Not a medical doctor. She's a psychologist. So that. And she told me about some other interests. So I deputized her boyfriend to be the cameraman. And I said, you are going to get a guitar. What? Yeah, you're going to get a guitar. Do you want a guitar? Yes, I guess. So we did the guitar giveaway. And, sorry, where was I going with this? Okay, so you already know about the giveaway. Okay, I just totally forgot what I was going to say about her and the giveaway. Yes, now I know. Okay. So, so she took the guitar, and I gave her a humidifier as well. And I explained how a humidifier works, and it just so happens that I had a guitar with a broken soundboard, with a fractured soundboard right there on the bench that a customer had just dropped off before she came. And guess what? It was a Martin guitar. So I showed her and I said, okay, so the guitar that you have, your old guitar, has a plywood soundboard, you know, called laminate, right? And that's not going to fracture when it dries up. But your new guitar has a spruce, solid spruce soundboard. And if it dries up, it's going to fracture just like this guitar. I was showing her the Martin, right? And she was horrified. So I said, you need to use a humidifier, right? And she didn't know what that was, so I gave her one. And then after they left, because he was on camera too a little bit, so I needed both of them, so her and her boyfriend, to sign the video release forms. And I forgot when they were here. So I texted her about that. And she said, oh yeah, no problem. They'll come over, or, you know, we'll meet up somewhere or whatever. But she said, you know, she's leaving. She's going to Taiwan on Friday. And today is Wednesday. And can she do it when she returns? And, you know, I immediately thought, well, you know, when you return in 3 weeks, right? She said she was going to be away for 3 weeks. You're going to be calling me that there's a crack on your soundboard. So, so I called her about that. I explained. I said, do you remember that Martin guitar? Yeah. I said, well, that little humidifier that I gave you is not going to last longer than 2 days, right? It's going to dry up, and then your guitar is going to dry up. If it's left unattended in your heated apartment in New York. So she started worrying about that, obviously. So she ended up bringing the guitar back. Actually, not here. She brought it to my house, and now it's at my house until they come back from Taiwan. They're going to Taipei. For 3 weeks. So that was kind of weird. So I said, okay, so now it looks like you're giving me the guitar back. I said, this is your guitar. You're going to get it back. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't develop a fracture. Okay, so I'm looking for 800 grit. Yes, so now I have her guitar again. I just can't get rid of that guitar for some reason. But she will come back. She'll get her guitar back. So I've been trying to give away that guitar since July, I believe, of 2023. And right now is January 2024, right? I'm saying this for the benefit of those who will be watching this in the future, right? So, and every time there was something that didn't work out with the person that I picked. Last person I picked was an older guy who had some issues with a cheap guitar, kind of like same story. And I said, listen, I can't fix your guitar on budget, right? because he had a, well, you know, he had a $200 guitar. I won't say what make and model, but it had a preamplifier inside. So you know that if it's a $200 acoustic guitar or acoustic electric guitar, you know, the cost of the preamplifier and all that, that's not going to be a good guitar, right? So it had an overset neck, which, you know, we're not going to attempt to fix on a $200 guitar. So it's really a $50 guitar with a preamplifier, and it's a $200 guitar because it has a preamplifier, right? So, so he said, what other guitar can he buy? You know, that's also acoustic electric, and his budget is $200. What I recommend? None, right? So you're not going to get a good acoustic electric guitar for $200. Yeah, so he was an older guy, like, you know, quite old, but you know, wasn't frail or anything. And he said that he's doing a program at a retirement home, music program. And I thought, well, you know, that's a good story. So I told him, well, how would you like a free guitar? And, you know, he wanted to find out more about that. And I said, all I need is your participation in the YouTube video. So he said, yes, this and that, and he's gonna come with his daughter and this and that. I said, great. And then he flaked out on me, and I never heard back from him. So so that was that. And before him, I even forgot. I think he was the third person that I tried to give the guitar to. So nothing worked out. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, there was, I don't want to tell the story. That was the second person. And the first person, I can't even remember. So it was a brand new guitar, but it needed some, you know, light repair work, including a little glue up of the bridge. So I put together a video. So there was something wrong with the nut. I was pinching a string. You couldn't really tune it. So if I recall, I did a full setup on the guitar. I fixed the nut, and I also, I didn't re-glue the bridge. You will see in the video what I did and why I had to do it that way. I was not going to do like a full bridge removal and re-glue for a guitar that I'm giving away. So I guess I could have exchanged it. I don't know. I decided to do it that way. So these guitars, they're just, you know, kind of quickly made. Any guitar, even like $800-900 guitars, they're just quickly put together. And I think it all boils down to cost analysis. It costs less to deal with a occasional complaint and return and exchange than it would cost to hire an inspector, like an internal inspector that's going to do quality control and drive everybody crazy at the factory. So that would really cost them. But, you know, if they just need to deal with an occasional customer that has an issue, they just replace the guitar, I guess, and that's it. That's how it works. Because we live in a disposable society. And we breathe and eat and drink microplastics. I got some more guitars that I need to give away. Yeah, so with that guitar, the first person I was going to give it away to actually came through the comments on one of the videos that I posted on the main channel. I don't really want to tell you who, but you can kind of sense it. So I never heard from that person, so I don't know what happened. I'm saying it because it is kind of public anyway, right? It's all there if you read comments. I can't remember which video, but there was an exchange between me and that viewer, and I really wanted to give it to that person, but I never heard back, so there's only so much I can do. So if that viewer ever gets back to me, I have another guitar. You can get that one. But just so you know, if you're watching, it was going to be this one that I just showed before, the D'Angelico. So I don't know why I never heard back from that viewer. I mean, maybe something happened, right? Things happen in people's lives. I don't want to jump to conclusions. All right. Time to move on to 1000. And that too, I can just trim it like this. Yeah. So I've been streaming this for 1 hour and 20 minutes exactly. So after this, I'm going to be doing the buffing, right? So I don't know if I should do it in a separate live stream or this one. I don't know. Here we go again. I remember watching a YouTube video about, I can't remember who it was, which content creator, but it was about if you are going to have your own guitar service shop, repair shop, which tools do you need? And he recommended this. Like, you need this. And, I couldn't agree more. So I have a few of them. I have 5 of them. So the other ones are over there that have different tapes on them. So definitely, I would say this is something you need. And this is the StewMac version. There are other versions on Amazon, but they're the same price. So you're not going to save any money by buying, well, I don't want to even say cheaper version, because it isn't. It's the same price as this, and it's well worth it. Yeah, you can put 3 tapes, or like here 2, or 1 really wide one. I highly recommend having this. And I think the StewMac version, which is this one, is the good-looking one, because it's red and black. And that actually goes well with Guitar Quackery, because I'm red, white, and black. So maybe, looks like I ran out of things to say, to talk about. So that's the thing about live streams. I just got to talk all the time. I also want to do more conventional live streams on this channel, and maybe also on the upcoming business channel. I think I will do, the conventional live streams. I mean, just like a talking head and people posting chats and me then reading and answering questions. So I want to do also more conventional live streams on this channel. But I was thinking more like podcast interviews. So if I have someone here who's interesting in some way, I could have them as a guest. And then I was also thinking of doing live streams of me playing music, like some other people do. Because I don't play live anymore. I haven't played like live in years. And I think it's because I work in this business, I think. Ironically. So I think I have, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, right? I just am too much detail oriented, and I just look how long this is taking me, right? So, so that keeps me working into the night. And then I just don't have the time to hook up with people and rehearse and play anymore. Some of my old guitars have plenty of wear and tear because, you know, I played them. My Gibson J200 is, you know, well played. And I bought it new. I believe in 1995, or maybe 1994 or so. 93, I don't know. I gotta check. But it definitely needs a refret. One day I'll have it on the bench. I've been thinking of putting EVO gold frets on it, but you can't find them anymore. Not in the size that I need. I could buy some new old stock from someone I know, but you know, I don't want to bother him. Yeah, I need to fix the nut on my Gibson J200 as well. And I kind of want to preserve the fret nibs. So that's one reason for my procrastination to work on my own guitar. Fun fact, the first refret I've ever done was on a Gibson Les Paul, my own guitar. I sold that guitar. And the reason why I refretted it was, at the time, I actually didn't like the fret nibs. So, yeah, I thought that was silly. Now I like fret nibs, so, see? I changed my mind about fret nibs. Yeah, it was a Gibson Les Paul Classic that I bought brand new, and I refretted it shortly after I bought it. That was a long time ago. 1994, maybe. I think it came out good. Even if I didn't have all the tools, I actually made my own fret pullers by modifying, you know, pliers. Okay, so this is looking good so far. It's got that brushed look. I can tell the difference, you know, between passes. I'm not sure if I'm going to go up to 2000 or not. I'm still trying to decide about the grits with this system. See, one thing I shouldn't forget is I need to check again with the fret rocker just to make sure, you know, all the frets are still even. I think they are. They better be. This system isn't really hitting the tops too much. So that's greatly going to depend on your choice of the tool, right? So the channel, how is it matching the crown? So the channel should be slightly smaller radius than the crown, so that it's pushing the two sides of the crown, but not on top. And then the top of the sandpaper is just kind of wrapped around the top. That's the important detail. Because if this has a bigger radius than the crown of the fret, then you have the opposite situation where you have full contact at the top and poor contact at the two sides. So definitely you don't want that. So this is still brushing against the top, but it isn't, the tool isn't pushing the top from above, right? If that makes sense. And I want to show you the pattern, the wood grain here, which is what made this neck age in a certain way, which was one of the reasons why we had to do a level crown and polish on this neck. So let me finish these 4 frets and then I'll show you this. I gotta remember to show you. Here, you can see from this side. Well, you can kind of already see this, kind of like a knot in the wood. But we'll have a closer look when as soon as I'm done with these frets. So whenever I am evaluating a guitar, whether it's on the bench for repair, or if, let's say, if I wanted to recommend the guitar to someone to buy it or not to buy it, I always look at the wood grain on the neck, especially on the neck, right? Or the soundboard if it's an acoustic guitar. Because every guitar is going to be different. Okay, 2 more frets, and then we'll look. So yeah, this is a tutorial, so I'm explaining things. And 1 more, and then let's look at the wood grain. Because I keep forgetting to show you. and I just realized that I forgot to put a link to the sandpaper. Okay, because I put links, Amazon links. Okay, so let's look at this wood grain. Zoom in a little bit. You can clearly see that there's this thing happening here. Okay, so that's the rest of the neck, kind of straight. Now from this side, you can see that it's a rift sawn. You see that? Okay, so it's at a, what is that, maybe a 25, 30 degree angle. Okay, and here you have this. So on this side you have kind of like this flamey thing, a lot of internal tensions. So here's the thing, this actually looks good. It makes it look unique. But when the wood is fresh, well, at that point you don't know how it's going to settle. And the way that this neck settled, it settled in this direction. Okay, so this was really high. I had to remove a lot of material from these frets. So these frets here are now lower. The crowns are lower than the frets in the middle of the neck, right? Also, the frets were over radiused, so the crowns are higher at the two ends now than in the middle, because it was lacquered on top of the frets. The lacquer is filling the gaps. So if there was no lacquer, you would be able to put a feeler gauge here. Oh, there is a gap. Look at that. So no, there's no lacquer on top. Okay, so the crowns are actually, so I always thought that this was a lacquer over the frets, but it's not. It's the frets over the lacquer. Okay. Well, okay. So that's what it is. You see, my eyes aren't as good anymore as they used to be. But this is why I use a microscope. Okay. So I actually prefer frets over finish. A lot of guitars are made with finish over frets, right? So yeah, so now this, the frets now have the proper radius, but there are gaps in the middle, right? And when you have a guitar that has finish over the frets, the finish fills those gaps and you don't see them, but they're there. But they're filled with a finish. So a lot of Fender guitars have over radiused frets. They're supposed to be, on most guitars, 9.5-inch radius. So interestingly, a lot of people say, well, my favorite radius is 9.5. Well, when did you really play a true 9.5-inch radius, right? So just because the spec sheet says it's 9.5, that doesn't mean that the guitar is on spec, right? But the board is always 9.5. All right. So now I've been streaming for 1 hour and 40 minutes and 3 seconds. I could end it here and do another live stream just in a few minutes. I think I'll do that so that this one is kept at, under 2 hours. And I can buff the frets in the next live stream, which is going to be part 5. So why don't I do that? I have a few live people viewing this live. Oh, and one person just joined. so I was saying I'm going to take a break, and really this time just a 5-minute break. I'll just reset everything, and then we'll do some buffing, just to keep this live stream under 2 hours. Or should I even go all the way to, so what was this one now? 1500? Oh no, this was 1000. Well, let's do one more pass first. Okay. I'll do a 1500 pass, and then I'll do a separate live stream for the buffing. Okay, so here, this is 1500 grit, and I'm just going to trim it. Yeah, goes here, and here we go. Yes, so at first I didn't know if I was going to continue this channel. Again, this is just the live streaming channel, because it's kind of unusual, right, to do live streaming from a repair shop. But unusual, there's another word for unusual, right? Unique. So I think I should continue doing it. And let's see how it all develops, because I am getting better at this, more efficient the more I do it. Now, I don't live stream all the projects. That would be impossible and unreasonable. This customer kind of didn't really request it. He kind of asked, oh, is my guitar going to be live streamed? I said, okay, maybe. And, you know, so since he asked, I wanted to make it happen. But, you know, just so you know, I don't know who's watching, whenever a guitar is on the playlist, a live streaming playlist, it might need to wait between the, you know, the episodes, because I need to do other work. I can only live stream when I know that I don't have back-to-back appointments, you know, people coming in, or, you know, things of that nature. So, and I only want to live stream, I only want to do live streams maybe 2, maybe 3 days a week. I don't want to do every day. So, yeah, so what's today? Wednesday. So yes, so Wednesday is a good day for me. Thursday, Saturday. I was going to live stream this Saturday, but I couldn't. See, because things happen, right? But I would have been working on this guitar on Saturday if live streaming was not thrown into the mix, right? Because when I don't live stream, when I don't, you know, when I'm not committed to streaming the entire project, I can just do 20 minutes of work, put it away, and 5 minutes later, and whatever, right? So, but when it's on a playlist, I just want to include all the work that was done on the guitar on that playlist. So it might need to wait on certain days. So that's the you know, pros and cons, right? So that's a disadvantage. But, you know, the advantage is that well, then the guitar ends up on YouTube, right? And it's archived. I also do private live streams when I make the video private so nobody can see it, not even with a link. So I've done a few of those as well. And the reason, well, there are many reasons why. So first of all, why can't I live stream every day? So one reason is, you know, the whole timing around, you know, appointments and all that. And there's another reason. Well, when I don't live stream, I like to watch YouTube videos and other people's live streams, etc., right? And I can't do that when I'm live streaming. Right? So I miss out. Even Netflix movies I watch sometimes just to keep me company. And I can't do that while I'm live streaming. But the private live streams that I did, so I call those archival live streams. I was doing just that. I was just watching YouTube on this screen here, or maybe a Netflix movie or something. And I wasn't talking. I wasn't narrating my work. So I was just doing my work and running the cameras. And the reason why I was doing that was to archive the work that had been done to that guitar. So if the customer comes back in a year or something and there's a problem or whatever, I can always go back to that video. And then there's another reason. Sometimes during a service, right, things just happen to the guitar. Could be an accident, or I could discover a problem. So once you open the hood, right, there could be something inside that wasn't apparent. So in that case, this surprise, unpleasant surprise, would be documented. So I could always make the private live stream what is it called, unpublished or something? No, unlisted, yeah. I change the status to unlisted, and then I can share the link. And the customer can watch it, and I can say, you see there at 41 minutes, look what happened. So your guitar has this additional problem, issue that we need to fix. And obviously, it's not fair to expect that I would fix it for free if it was a pre-existing condition. I don't like to use that term, but yeah. But, you know, some guitars have pre-existing conditions. And I don't like to be like an auto mechanic, calling up the customer and saying, hey, now we discovered this, we discovered that. That's going to cost you more. Without any evidence, right? But if I have an archival live stream, so even if it was not a narrated live stream, it's still recorded. And it can be used for that purpose. So I actually have quite a few archival live streams on this channel also, but you cannot access them unless I change the status from private to public, or from private to unlisted, but then you need a link. So anybody can watch an unlisted video if they have a link, but only I can watch a private video from my dashboard logged on, right? Yeah, so I got a few more frets to go. How many more? 2, 4, 6, 8 frets. Okay. And I can tell the difference between the two. I know you can't see the difference, but there is a difference. I was going to say, yeah, I want to work on a few more guitars tonight. It's almost 11, but I did take a nap here, right here on the workbench. I wanted to take a 10-minute nap, 10 to 20-minute nap. It ended up being probably 2 hours, I don't know. Because I was up late last night again. And sometimes I'm up late working here, and sometimes I'm up late editing. So I've changed the way I record these videos for the main channel. Right now, I use the live switching mode and just record them with live switching from one camera to another. And that's it. During a period in the past, I would, because my switcher can record 8 cameras all at once, right? So during a certain period, I was using that feature on my switcher, and it would record 8 channels all at once, and then I would end up with, so let's say if it's a half-hour recording, right? I would end up with 8 half-hour recordings, but I'm not running 8 cameras, right? I was like, you know, this is one camera, that's one camera, so anyway, I would delete some of the channels, right? If I wasn't using those cameras. So, and then I would need to edit, and that editing takes forever. So I still have, how big are my hard drives? It's in the terabytes, right? So I have 2 hard drives full of video recordings that I'm still sorting through. And I don't even know if it's worth doing it, but there are some interesting guitars and projects that I've worked on that I haven't published yet. I've been trying to edit the footage, and it just takes forever. So I start editing, and then I make little progress, and before I know it, it's like 4:30 a.m. and or sometimes I fall asleep editing. So yeah, so these videos, they don't happen just like that, right? So some other YouTube channels, guitar channels, have different styles. So they don't do much editing. They more or less just talk to the camera and that's it. So Ted Woodford does a lot of editing, clearly. And I don't know how he does it, how he manages his time. I don't know him personally, but I like him personally. I'm sure you know who he is. He's the guy in Canada, right? With a repair channel. All right, look at that. So we remove that. That is it. It's already looking kind of shiny, but it's got that brushed look. And I am going to buff the frets in the next live stream. And like I said, the next live stream will be happening in a few minutes. Oh, look, we have another viewer. So sorry, you just joined, but I am going to take a break. It's really, this time it's just going to be a 5-minute break. I promise. I think. Yeah, let's just make it a 5-minute break. My only objective is to keep this live stream under 2 hours. So this is 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 52 seconds right now. So, all right. Let's take a break, and I'll see you shortly. So don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe if you want to watch me live, if you want to catch me live. If that's not your thing, then perhaps the main channel is for you, because, that's produced content. And that's that. Oh, yeah, you can buy me a coffee if you want. There's a link below. Thank you if you do. No worries if you don't. And I'll see you shortly.